এরপর কায়নাত লেখা আছে পেন্টিং, তবে আঁকবে না, দেখাবে। আর তারপরে বলে রাখি অন্যদের জন্য, এরপরে আছেন আলেখ্য। আলেখ্য ওর কোনো এক সহপাঠী আলেখ্য সম্পর্কে লিখে রেখেছে, ও কি বলবে লেখা আছে, যা বলবে ভালো বলবে। আর তারপরেই আমাদের অনুষ্ঠানের সমাপ্তি হবে। আপাতত কায়নাত।
As we move towards the end of the program, I believe that we wouldn't be able to entirely do justice to Tagore if we don't pay a tribute to his paintings. A multifaceted personality, Rabindranath Tagore took to painting seriously in 1928 when he was in his late 60s. It was shortly before this that he was seized with an urge to experiment in what was for him a new medium of creative expression. He had always been drawn to this art, and had occasionally cast furtive and longing glances at it ever since, as a young boy, he had seen his elder and versatile brother, Jyotirindranath, draw. Later, when his nephews Abanindranath and Gaganendranath discovered their talents in painting, he encouraged them in their pursuit and helped in founding what came to be known as the Bengal movement in Indian art. But he himself did not take the brush in hand. Though he did not wield a brush, he doodled freely with his pen. His manuscripts bear ample and fascinating testimony to these playful exercises interwoven with his verses. Most of these exercises were induced by what he has called casualties in my manuscripts, deletions and erasures which he hated to leave alone as desultory scratches on his page. They seemed to him like widowed gypsies in frantic search of mates, calling to him piteously to rescue them with the self-same pen and connect these various solitary incongruities into some kind of rhythmic pattern, fanciful or grotesque. Gradually, his pictures won their right of independence from his manuscripts. From now on, he painted not to provide rhythmic patterns to the erasures in his writings, but as he liked. He painted fast and with a sure hand, in between the intervals of his literary activity, finishing each picture at one sitting, and has left behind nearly 2,500 paintings and drawings, all done in the last 15 years of his life. Anuragda. He himself described his paintings as my versification in lines, and confessed in a letter that he was hopelessly entangled in the spell that the lines have cast all around me. There is no doubt that many of these drawings are marked by a strong feeling for rhythm, but apart from this affinity, there is little in common between his poetry and his painting. It would seem that some other self of his, if not deeper, at any rate more hidden, were seeking expression through this new medium. When he painted, it was like someone who was sure of his step without seeing, driven by an urge of which the direction is outside his control. The grotesque, the bizarre, the cruel, the sardonic, and all that he scrupulously kept out of his writings peeps out of his drawings. Nandalal Bose, writing on Rabindranath's pictures, has said, "We need to be re-educated in the fundamental values of art, and can do it better than he who is creating before our very eyes forms whose vigor baffles our classifications and compels the admiration of the artist. If Rabindranath seems rough and destructive, it is because he is breaking the ground anew for us, that our future flowers may be surely assured of this sap." And here is a virtual exhibition for you all.
ছোঁয়াও প্রাণে এ জীবন পূর্ণ করো, এ জীবন পূর্ণ করো, এ জীবন পূর্ণ করো, এ জীবন পূর্ণ করো নবন্দানে আগুনের পরশমণি ছোঁয়াও প্রাণে আমার এই দেহ খানি ধরো তোমার ওই দেবালয়ের প্রদীপ করো আমার এই দেহ খানি তুলে ধরো তোমার ওই দেবালয়ের প্রদীপ করো নিশিদিন আলোক শিখা জ্বলুক গানে নিশিদিন আলোক শিখা জ্বলুক গানে আগুনের পরশমণি ছোঁয়াও প্রাণে আধারের গায়ে গায়ে পরশ তব সারা রাত ফোটাক তারা নব নব আধারের গায়ে গায়ে পরশ তব সারা রাত ফোটাক তারা নব নব নয়নে দৃষ্টি হতে ঘুচবে কালো যেখানে পড়বে সেথায় দেখবে আলো ব্যথা মন